when I moved to LA, I was signed to a manager who seduced me into moving out to LA, and then as soon as I got there, she promptly became a chef. And so my friend Gary Gulman, who is performing here soon, actually, he's a an amazing comedian. He wanted to introduce me to other comedians in LA who were from Boston originally. And you think that all comedians from a certain place would mesh very well, right? That's the assumption. And to get Gary to know, he's about 6'6". He's got the body of an Adonis, but the spirit of like Belle and Sebastian, you know? Like it's just like thousands of trumpet players dancing around inside his soul and like singing about ducks and whatnot. He calls me Chrissy, okay? But then he also hangs out with these like more masculine people. And so he called me and was like, I want to take you to a party at my friend's house. It's this Sunday. And I was like, great. He's like, we'll meet other Boston comedians who are in LA doing well. And I was like, oh, that sounds wonderful. And since I don't subscribe to the Roman calendar of sports, I didn't realize it was Superbowl Sunday. And the friend he was talking about was Comedy Arena superstar Dane Cook. And so we went, bear in mind, this is at a period of time where I was at the height of my androgyny. So I am wearing like a sundress, okay? And we show up to Dane Cook's house, and Dane Cook gives me a tour of his home, and I tell him it looks like a Crate and Barrel, you know, like a classic dude joke, right? And then doesn't land, and then we go into his home theater to watch the big game, and Dane's entourage is just in the shadows, and they just look like 1,000 sub shop owners. And Bill Burr, who is the most masculine, he has a real Boston accent, he talks like that. And so for me, the first intelligence that I lose when I freak out is my spatial awareness. And so there's plenty of seats available on the couches, but for some reason what I decide to do is I sit on Bill Burr's armrest. Like a toy breed. Like some kind of chanteuse, okay? And I cannot stress this enough, that I've walked in and I am wearing like essentially a tankini, a Lucille Ball Chiquita Banana headdress. And Gary is looking at me with a mix of like compassion and terror in his eyes. Like, why are you sitting on the armrest of this man that you do not know? And everyone thought that Gary had hired a cheap escort for the day or something, right? You know when you've been silent for too long in a social situation, you can't speak at the risk of alarming everybody in the room? I decided to chime in. They were talking about the camera angle. They were complaining about the camera angle, about how far away it was, and so I decided to say, oh yeah, that's just the security camera from the parking lot. Dane laughs, and then I get incredibly cocky. I take the self-esteem tower of terror up to the apex. And then, for some reason, I let go for like the first moment in the last like 2 hours, and I immediately violently sneeze so powerful. I power sneeze. And it was the 1 in 500 sneezes that decides to be giving, a charitable sneeze. I productively sneeze directly into the pleat of Bill Burr's khakis. Oh yeah, it's the security camera angle from the parking lot. Upright! Bill Burr looks at me as I'm doing this and then sees it, feels the weight of it. So everyone in the room is like, oh good, the woman Gary brought from the woods is also deeply ill. Sneezing in a sundress into the pleat of a Massachusetts man. It feels almost like how the Salem witchcraft trials began. Like, I can't explain it. I could feel the Sagamore Bridge crumble as the weight of what looked like my gallbladder entered Bill Burr's khaki pleat. And if you think that's bad, my friends, it gets much, much worse. The Patriots win, and then Dane and his friends decide to go celebrate by tossing the old pigskin around in the yard. The yard is the biggest yard I've ever seen. Everyone is spreading so far away that you couldn't even talk to each other. And Gary comes up to me in one of the most compassionate moments of any. It was very like of Mice and Men, like Lenny. How long has this been out? Gary comes, so they're tossing the old pigskin around, and Gary comes up to me and he goes, Chrissy, I think you better head out of here. But I wasn't able to leave before taking a quick photo that Dane insisted we all take for his Twitter. And let's see if you can spot that one of these things doesn't belong. Let's take a quick look.